Hey, baby, so listen, I get this all the time. A lot of times people can't understand the correlation between growing and healing and having to reference other people. It's important to reference other people during your healing because a lot of times that is a part of the healing process. Because in order to heal, you have to acknowledge the areas of yourself that hurt you. You have to acknowledge the pain. And a lot of time, pain is linked to other people. Okay, a lot of times when you don't understand your power, you don't understand who you are, right? You are raised to be a people's pleaser, okay? Or you are raised to adopt other people's ideologies about the world. But as you get older, okay, you begin to discover what works for you. You begin to discover what you believe in, okay? And you begin to acknowledge, okay, the things that hurt you. You begin to acknowledge the things that no longer serve you. And a lot of times those things are attached to other people. So a lot of times our healing triggers other people by default, okay? It's going to trigger other people by default because when you acknowledge, okay, the areas of your life that you may have swept under the rug, okay, and you begin to talk about these things and you begin to be able to go to the people who hurt you and you begin to look for, let's say, closure, or you begin to just connect the dots on what has taken place, let's say, over the course of your life, okay, and you begin to start identifying the patterns and you begin to say, look, I'm no longer doing that, okay? I'm no longer going to adopt this culture or this ideology, this way of thinking in my household. It's going to trigger other people because sometimes their way of coping is to not address it, okay? Because they can't deal with the pain. So when you begin to address the pain, you begin to get lighter. You begin to, do things that you've never done before. You begin to speak differently, okay? Because you are changing. Change means that you will no longer be the same person that you once were, okay? And if people can't deal with the fact that you're changing, we've heard this before. It is literally because the old version of you served them more. But that no longer works for you. So this is where isolation come in at, right? This is where God begins to separate you, okay? He begins to deal with you in private, okay? And so a lot of times when you are in your isolation season, you're growing, okay? You're in the plucking season, okay? You're uprooting things, okay? And so when you come out of that season, because it's so important that you do come out of that season, because humans need to connect with other humans. In my mental health practice, there is, okay, a such thing as not being able to connect with other people and socialize that really affects the way your brain stimulates, okay? It really makes you sometimes deteriorate because you are not connected to other people. Humans need stimulation and we need that connectivity to other humans. It is very important. This is the reason why you hear that we are all connected, because the truth of the matter is we are, okay? But when you look at, let's say, a tree and you look at grass, they all grow in the same area, but their purpose is totally different. A tree grows very, very high and a grass just stops at a certain level. So you have to understand that when you come out of this isolation season, you are going to be able to connect with other people, but a lot of time your connectivity looks like you just basically influencing other people and telling people about the process that you took in order to grow, in order to shine your light, because now you are truly in alignment with the universe. You are growing, okay? To be in alignment with the universe means to continue to grow, to continue to create, because if you're not growing, if you're not creating, then you're ultimately dead. You're allowing yourself to deteriorate, okay? So this is the reason why we have to continue to eat good food and feed ourselves, good positivity affirmations, and to, meditate, and to drink our water, and to mind our business, because this helps us cultivate the change that is needed to reach the highest expression of ourselves, okay? But coming out of the isolation season is so profound because it makes you become more talkative, okay? And you begin to find your tribe, okay? And you begin to relate to people, okay, on another level. It becomes a spiritual level because you have identified the areas in your life that was suppressing you, okay? And this is why the people who have not went through this process, okay, they begin to target you and they begin to talk about you because they don't even understand. They can't even comprehend because they have not went through the process. See, the Bible says the spirit bear witness with the spirit, okay? okay? This is the reason why you meet people that you've never met, okay? And they begin to support you because them too are going through the same thing, okay? Their process may look different from yours, but at the root, it's the same thing. It's putting away those childish behaviors. As I was a child, I spoke as a child, but when I became an adult, I put away childish behaviors, okay? So you have to understand that it is necessary for you to talk about other people. But when you're talking about other people, you're not talking about other people in a way of you're condemning them. You're not talking about other people in a way that you're judging them. You're simply telling your story. You're simply telling how you was able to overcome, and you are speaking from a place of power. You're speaking from a place of strength because you are no longer bound. You are no longer suppressing those things. You are no longer allowing yourself to be used. You are no longer the person that you used to be. You have truly changed, but you have to understand that this change is going to trigger other people, and it's only because the enemy wants to use that as a distraction. It wants to use you as the enemy wants to use it as a distraction so you can go back. So you can go back into your cocoon, okay? So you can't fly as a butterfly, okay, and get your wings, okay? This is what the enemy wants to happen. But because you are expecting this, because you are aware that this is what's happening, you got to continue to grow, and you got to continue to speak to the things that do trigger you, okay? Because when you learn what triggers you, you ultimately understand why it's triggering you. Because a lot of times it's triggering you because it wants you to react. But when you realize that you are being triggered, you can sit back and you can use your coping skills and you can respond. A lot of time your coping skills is to reflect. It is to understand what is happening, okay? And just because someone is trying to get a reaction out of you, you don't give them a reaction. You respond. And not saying anything, not doing anything, I'm telling you, is the ultimate level of maturity, is the ultimate level of growth, because you allow God to fight your battles. Because God says, vengeance is mine, said the Lord. And when you are still, this is when the God in you gets to move, okay, the way that he has designed to address the problem. He gets to use a different approach. And when you sit back and see how God allows it to unfold, then that's another testimony. That's another story for you to tell. And that is how you continue to connect to your higher self and to the people who are assigned to you. Okay? I hope this message helps somebody, okay? If you have not already, go ahead and subscribe to your girl channel. Go ahead and like this button. Go ahead and repost this, and go ahead and follow your girl on TikTok. It's your girl, a voice and an influence, where you can always count on truth, love, and transparency coming from me, okay? And don't forget to click the link and check out my apparel. This is Up Apparel, uncommonly peculiar. All right, y'all. Go on with your day, and remember, you're big blessed. Peace.